Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Second Cup of Coffee. Pastor Tom with you. We're on week 2 of our series, When Are You Going to Move? When are you going to move? This whole series, this whole month is set on giving you practical, spiritual ways to determine if God's calling you to a move, if He's releasing you in that move, in that moment. The release into the move we talked about last week, getting released from people that are in your life as authorities, as priests, as bosses, those kind of things. So just to kind of reiterate, this is not just moves. Moves can be moving from job to job, church to church, a new house, a new city. We saw a lot of that during COVID. And I'm starting to read, honestly, news articles, people regretting moving. You know, everything, you get this mindset of you think you want something and then you get there and realize it may be very different than what you had intended. And sometimes in the midst of turbulent times, our soul speaks louder than the spirit, but that's a human condition. It doesn't just require COVID or another pandemic or something like that. So how do we know it's not my soul and it's the Spirit of God? Well, we're going to look at a young lady named Esther. She was an orphan, had a lot of things that probably stirred up in her soul because of that, being raised by a cousin, being not really having a choice, but being selected for this, the very first bachelorette, our bachelor, sorry. The king needed a wife, so he gets all these girls together, and she goes through a year of preparation, and she submits herself to this guy, and he helps her and helps prepare her. I guess in a way, if you ever saw the Hunger Games, think of Katniss and the person that dressed her and helped her coach her through. It's kind of like that kind of situation. So it says in verse 15 of chapter 2, "Now when the turn came for Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her as his daughter, to go into the king, she requested nothing but what Haggai, the king's eunuch, the custodian of women, advised." Here it is. How do I know it's time? When are you going to move? How do I know it's time to move? When am I released to move? When it's your turn. And sometimes that's just very practical. It just comes up and it's your time to go, right? Somebody retires and they ask you to step in. If you're an athlete, somebody gets injured and you're the next person up. I've seen it a lot in the body of Christ. God moves you and positions you and then shifts things in a way that you never saw coming. And now you're in a place of responsibility. You're in a place of ministry, leadership. In more practical way, you just hear something of the Spirit of God, prepare to move, and then suddenly this house comes up, it looks like, and all of a sudden everything starts to flow together, and you go from standing still to moving into this house. So it can happen that way. So how do I know? It was just my turn. There's a very natural, practical aspect of God sometimes where He just turns the page and you know it's time to move. So it was her turn. She had been preparing for this. What is my encouragement to you? At some point, you have to trust that the preparation He took you through is going to carry you into the new place. And you can't doubt yourself or doubt God and say, no, I'm not going to move because I don't know if I'm ready. You have to trust that if you walk through the preparation. She literally submitted herself to the eunuch for a year and listened, took what he said, wore what he said, carried with her what he said, and when her turn came, she was ready and she was chosen as queen. So it's very practical, also very spiritual. When it's your turn, you got to walk in it and trust the preparation. You'll know it's God because oftentimes we kind of joke, and I'll leave you with this. With God, it's wait, and all of a sudden then He flips the page and it's now. And the cool thing about it is, even though it may be moving quickly now, there's a peace underneath it because you waited through the preparation and you're prepared. So if this means something to you, share it. You can find us on the app, on Facebook, on YouTube, either on Rancho Christian Center or our Second Cup of Coffee YouTube page. Again, if it means something to you, share it. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you soon.